want to show you a technique of using dry brush, and a technique that I use with a very small squirrel mop that's going to bring in the foliage. So this is a painting that I've done earlier, and you can see on the painting very dry brush strokes, very dark and very sharp, and that's the whole idea, because those dark dry brush strokes will push everything else back, and you can see this misty effect moving the buildings and the bridge and the water into the background. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. So this is the picture that I've been working on, and I'm kind of almost finished, and what I really want to do is put in the finishing touches, the things that are going to give it some punch and pizzazz. So here we go. We're going to start out with some umber, burnt umber that is, and a little touch of ultramarine. And I'm just going to put in some of these branches. And the important thing is when you're bringing in these branches, is to push on and pull off. Obviously, the quicker you pull, the greater the effect will be as far as the dry brush stroke is concerned. Now, I think it's always important to make sure that the eye is led to where you want the main focal point to be. So in this case, the main focal point over is these two characters in this boat. So that kind of gets echoed by the branches we're working on there. So I'm now going to go back in and just mix this one up. Earlier it's Payne's Grey and turquoise, and that's just going to give us a slightly different mix. What you really don't want to do is make all of your branches the same tone or the same colour. So you need to mix that up again. So again, using the umber, burnt umber, I'll just add a little piece of water in there, and we can just start to add those in, and that's probably just about enough. So that will do there. Next, we're going to go on to this squirrel mop, and I'm going to give it a bit of harsh treatment. I'm going to bash it around a little bit, and it's this bashing and this fanned edge that you want. So I'm going to go straight in to some green. This is Viridian. I've mixed Viridian in with Hooker's green, and it creates quite a powerful green. Now, before I go in and hit the painting itself, I just need to smash out some here, and you can see this on my palette, just to sort of break things up a little bit. And then the motion's going to be coming in, pushing in from side to side, and sometimes light dabs as well. Just sort of create it sort of coming down a little bit, almost as like it's in a willow tree, you know, it's sort of start to get spring, and you see that kind of effect. Also bring in a touch of cad yellow in there to break that up a little bit tonally. There we go. You can of course fiddle forever with paintings, can't you? And, you know, artists, we tend to look at things and go, oh, I should have put this in, I should have put that in. And in the comfort of your own home, you can certainly do that. But let's just add a touch more, and then we'll be done on this one. Now, this is a Society for All Artists brush, very good, synthetic. And one of my favourite little brushes, the last little thing, is this tiny little wriggler. It's hardly got any hair on it at all. But this can create some very fine twiggery at the end. That's what we want to try and do there. Touch more water. Again, remember, I'm trying to get the tree to be part of this painting and move the eye towards the focal point. And that's just about it. Yeah, that'll do. He says. So we're going to look at another painting now, which is finished painting, and you can see a similar technique here that I showed you earlier with the foliage, and that was put in exactly the same way. But I really want to concentrate on the highlights that are in this painting and try and transfer that idea to another painting. And you can see the highlights around these two central characters here, and obviously all of these people who are sitting there having a nice cup of coffee in this Parisian back street. So we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we go. I've got some white, and I'm going to take it straight out of the tube. Now the main thing to do with this is to squeeze up enough paint so you can see it coming out, and then put the tip of the brush in and just twizzle it around a touch, and so you can see this dripping effect. Now, you don't need to worry, it's not going to drip off of the brush onto the paper, famous last words, but no, it's not going to do that. What's going to happen is just going to hold there, and gravity is going to do the work. Now this is going to get you a nice straight edge as you go round. So let's see if we can put that into practice. So there's one part of the highlight around the head, and again look at this nice drippy juicy paint, look at that coming down. We can put that in and drag it around. So that creates a nice sharp edge. Sometimes you don't want a sharp edge, sometimes you want a harder edge or even a softer edge, and I'll show you how to do that. So you can see the paint again sticking up. This time I'm just going to gently rub it against the side of the tube and just take a touch off, and then we're going to drag. Obviously when you put the brush to the paper, that's when the most paint's going to go on. So you need to lift off as you come along. Yep, so we're going to lift off, and it's this kind of dragging motion, which I said dragging motion, not dragon motion as in the mythical creature or dragon. This dragging motion that you need to get. They call it dry brush, and it gives movement to your figures. That's really, really important in any painting that's got figures in it. So here we go. And then again, one more time, taking it out the tip, you can see it dropping down. And this is the tough bit, so I'm going to go in a little bit closer to get some control, because these figures are quite small. Just a little touch around the top of the head, just there, and one down the side, there, and there. And you can always use your fingers. I love to use my fingers, so I'm also going to drag some of that paint down, and that can blur things up as well. And that is it.